morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at the brand new tank in the game that is for sale right now, and that is the Skoda T-56. Yeah, it is a Czechoslovakian Tier 8 heavy tank. And if I'm honest, it's not great. It's average. It's nothing exciting. And of course, it is for sale in crates. So there's a possibility you might not even get the tank if you're buying the crates. So overall, let's have a look at the stats of the tank. 1,800 hit points. The turret armor is 220 millimeters. I mean, it's okay. You can get bounces, no problem. But the hull is also only 130 millimeters. The DPM 1886, again pretty average for a tier 8 heavy tank, if I'm honest. The reload time is 14.3 seconds. Penetration 215 on your AP and 268 on your heats. Not the greatest of penetrations either. Average damage, it does have a 450 alpha shot on your AP, 390 on your heat and 640 on your HG. Aim time is not bad. Not good at 5.5 seconds, and the dispersion also not great at 0.389, but it does have 8 degrees of gun depression and it goes 35 kilometers per hour. So overall, like, it's not really that good of a tank, if I'm honest with you. You can get damage, but you can't rely. I mean, as I've said, you can get bounces. You can get bounces on this tank, but you can also be penetrated quite easily in the right, given the right situation of the enemy, where they're shooting, etc. But yeah, angled up, of course, you can get bounces once you once you get your angles, hold down, if you're sort of wiggling and stuff like that, you can get bounces. But if I'm honest, it definitely is not worth buying. It definitely isn't worth buying. It's kind of a boring tank, if you ask me. And there's plenty of other tier 8 tanks out there, tier 8 heavy tanks out there, that I would definitely prefer over this. So I will, for one, will not be wasting my money on this tank at all. I won't be spending a penny. So there's some people out there, I mean, I'm sure Droodles will have either a live stream of the tank or a video of the tank. Of course, he might like the tank. People have different views, people have different opinions. And for me, I just think it's kind of a boring tank that you can do in other tanks out there. Other tanks that are cheaper and other tanks that you don't have to buy in crates. So as I said, it is for crates. When it comes to sale, of course, it might be a little bit different, but even then, when it does finally come for sale for gold, there are still going to be tanks out there that are better than this. You have the WZ112-2 Object 252U. There's a load of other tanks out there that are better than this. So I am quite disappointed in the tank, if I'm honest. I was hoping maybe the turret would be a little bit more better, because I've been face hugging tier 7 tanks and they've still managed to pen me no problem whatsoever. But yeah, of course, as I've said, you can still get those bounces. You have that hatch on top as well, which you do need to be awfully careful about. And the DPM, sort of everything, sort of the penetration, the DPM, it does make the tank suffer a little bit. But playing it, I have still been performing well in the tank. Playing it, I've sort of got I've had about 5 battles and I'm averaging almost 3k average in it. So you can still perform well in it, and if you can side scrape and go hold down, then of course you are going to perform a little bit better. And with the sort of 450 alpha, that's not bad at all. And that's, to be honest, that's quite nice. The alpha is quite nice, and that's probably one of the best things about the tank is the alpha. 450 alpha, which means you're sort of doing more more high rolls than sort of low rolls. There's some heavy tanks out there that sort of you can average 300 and 350, but because you have the 450 alpha, you are sort of getting the high rolls a lot more. So here, this guy, we're going to delete him, no problem at all. 449 into him, and before you know it, that is now 3.4k damage. And just one tank left alive, which is the the T-49. And yeah, the speed's not great, 35 kilometers an hour. It does feel a little bit sluggish. But yeah, as you can see, like, we can still perform, and we can still get block damage there, 1200 block damage. And we did get that quite easily, if I'm honest. So as you can see, you can still perform well in the tank. I'm not saying the tank is awful. I'm just saying that the tank is kind of boring. It's kind of boring, nothing new, and it's got no special, I think it's got sandbags and stuff like that. I'm not 100%, I don't really use them. But yeah, it's got no special equipment or consumables or provisions, anything like that. It's just a bulk standard tier 8 heavy tank, and you all know how many bulk standard heavy tanks we have in the game, and this is just another one of those. So yeah, don't buy the tank, don't buy the crates. It really isn't worth it. Don't waste your money, because it will come back. Of course it will come back, and I'm sure it will be a little bit cheaper. But as I've said, if you can get into those positions where you are able to bounce, I mean, we've got a tier 7 here, we're bouncing him no problem whatsoever. But as you can see, he is also penning us no problem whatsoever, given the time. If you give him the time to aim, then they will be able to penetrate you, even the tier 7 tanks. So you do have to bear that in mind, and you do have to be very careful. So definitely it is a frontline tank. It is a frontline tank because it does still have armor when you use it correctly. Hold down, you still got a little bit of turret armor, sorry, 220 millimeters. If you're using that with the 8 degrees of gun depression on top of that, you will get some bounces. You will easily get some bounces, but you have to play it like it needs to be played. So this game here, I mean, so far we've only got 1,700 damage, and there is just 3 tanks left alive. Now, I've actually been hitting shots, even with the accuracy not great and the aim time not great. I have still been hitting shots where I'm thinking, okay, maybe I shouldn't have hit that. I mean, here we're not really going to aim fully in, and even that was a low roll, and that was still 419 damage. So the average damage on this thing is definitely, for me, the standing out point for the tank. And we got a guy there, the Comet 474 alpha, and if you look, we are trying to go at him in a sort of angled position, and when you do that, that's when you can really get some bounces. But that Indian Panzer up there penetrates us no problem whatsoever. So again, we're getting penetrated no problem. So that game, easy damage there, 3,000, almost 3,200, but we also blocked 1,400. So we're not blocking anything like too major, but we are still getting the block damage when you put your tank into the kind of position that it can get those block damage. Side scraping, I think, has performed well for me, and the games that I've had, I have bounced quite a bit just from side scraping alone. So yeah, it's definitely not a bad tank. As I've said, it's not an awful tank, but for me it's just boring and it's nothing new, and with it being in crates, it definitely isn't worth buying. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope this helps, hope this makes up your mind. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye. With